Welcome to a RealPHN discussion about U.S. healthcare and best practices. Best practices are widely accepted, used by most industries and professions. Not so much with healthcare. We kind of stick to our own thing with population health, managed care, value-based care. Recently pointed out to me that my career has always been best practices being applied to healthcare. I hadn't realized that, but I think it's right. So we're going to look at best practices, how they fit, whether they succeed or not, and then how it works. Who would benefit if the U.S. healthcare system applied best practices? Actually, the entire U.S. population. Individuals, because best practices makes individuals number one. Employers can put the strategies in place directly. Seniors need it desperately. We have an aging population. In rural U.S., look at the literature, it says 65 million people are living in a healthcare desert. Doesn't sound good, does it? The slide's going to be a little laborious and it's going to apply best practices to healthcare. But I want to start with the bottom line. Best practices can be implemented by any of the 6 healthcare stakeholders. And it works best with local focus, and it works best with collaboration amongst the stakeholders. We're going to look at mainstream best practices and then health and healthcare best practices. Copilot says that these 11 things are mainstream best practices. They're logical when you think about them. Customer focus, keep the employees involved, risk management, financial data. Watch what happens over here. Members, number one. I submit that members are not number one in U.S. healthcare. We're pretty much on our own to navigate our treatment and our healthy lives. Plan design, there's not much you can do with plan design. Finance, this is where the rubber really meets the road. You must apply standard accounting procedures, budgeting, monthly reporting, and ties with data and tying across all the financial pieces. Data reconciled with finance. Claim files are pure gold. They have been for my entire career. Personal data, social determinants of health, and the coming of AI are going to change the game, and they're fascinating and have high potential. Health improvement ties everything together. It is not isolated. It is not just another program. And it puts personal health nursing into a leadership role coupled with primary care. Direct relationships. It's the only industry we have still left that there are middle organizations cutting deals on both sides of the buyers and sellers. We've got to move to direct relationships. And you'll see in another slide, we've been doing that for the better part of 50 years. Pricing is currently insane. Anything you read, you know that cost shifting started in the 80s with the advent of prospective payment. It's just gotten worse and worse. It doesn't work. As long as you have reimbursement based on production, it's always going to be a problem. Risk, all 6 stakeholders have monumental risks, and it's not just an annual budget and a fixed amount for an annual budget. It's way beyond fee pricing. Administration, somebody's got to administer what we build, and we must comply with numerous legal and regulatory challenges. So other than that, it's pretty easy. But thanks for staying with us through this slide. Bottom line question is, does it work? Oh yeah, it works, and it's worked well for a long time, putting those 10 pieces together. Current deployments, we have one in Milford, Delaware. There's a wellness village centered in an old hospital that's been redeployed. They have a We Care personal health nursing organization that, according to University of Delaware, that studied one of the grants, the assistance immeasurably improves the quality of life for vulnerable older adults in a rural area of Delaware. That is remarkable. We have a template going there for the desert. Meanwhile, Garrett Metal Detectors in 2017 said there's got to be a better way. We started working on the strategies, and we put the 10 strategies in place that are actually best practices. Their plan has consistently been relatively flat, and it costs about half what it did historically and half what it does for a typical employer. The leadership there says the savings are delivered by simply getting people what they need. Historically, in the 80s, Mercers and Coopers, we did direct stuff with employers in Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it worked great. The 90s, we've popped over to the healthcare system side, and they pushed us into building a third-party administrator, which we had a dot-com investment raise, which was quite an experience. And then in the 2000s, Infomed in Annapolis, we did the direct work with health systems, but then we created the personal health nurse titles, had a TPA, and they sold a Conifer, which is part of Tenet Health. And those who've got the URLs, you can go check them out. So what is going on here, Harry? It's just always been best practices, just because it's worked. This is a slide about how it works. And if the slide works like I think it will, you'll leave the next couple of minutes saying, wow, that was simple. We start with number one, individuals. Individuals in every industry and profession are number one. I'm not so sure about healthcare, but number one has got to be number one. On the left-hand side are the stakeholders who pay for services, employers, federal government, state and local governments. They want healthcare with reduced costs. On the right, stakeholder 5 and 6 are health plans and health systems that deliver care and manage it, and they want to grow their businesses, and they've got capital that put it in there to say grow the business. So what happens when individuals become number one with their own health and health care and have a personal health nurse that's available and trusted and in an ongoing relationship, and information other than just medical information is used, and primary care is connected so that they can manage their ongoing conditions plus have efficient episodes of care in and out of care. The personal health nursing and primary care and ongoing relationships, interactive and health focused. It's kind of how simple it is. Individual focus, health, healthcare quality and efficiency, getting what they need. Disciplined execution of the 10 best practices from finance, data, etc. Personal health nurses in leadership roles. It's been interesting to watch over the years. The nurses tend to take over the monthly management meetings. It's about leadership. It's about leaders' vision, desire, and drive. Local healthcare and health happen close to home, close to individuals. Any stakeholder can drive it forward. Collaboration makes it easier and better. Demographics and healthcare deserts, I believe, are going to drive us into this efficient model, which has probably been sensible the whole time. So when I say it got real simple, I put this little thing around it and said, look, we built an individually focused team that can be built by employers, federal government, state and local government, health systems, or health plans. It all works that well. Thanks for joining us. It's been some fun.